I guess the moral of the story or my story is doesn't matter how and where you get started. It's a matter of, how flexible you are in a journey to take life's unexpected curveballs.
Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to another episode of Growing Wealth with A&R. Growing Wealth with A&R's journey is about helping millennials and Gen X save and make money. Rose and I do this by showing you research-based articles, and we use that in order to make the economy seem simpler so that you can make money.
Andrew and I actually had the privilege of working with an author and a financial advisor, Nora Gay, and she has written Get Minted. This book is pretty amazing. It gives you the tools and the tips on how to plan for long-term financial wealth and to plan for uncertainties that happen throughout our lives. We had the opportunity to ask her a couple of questions and pretty much pick her brain. She picked ours as well too, and it was an amazing experience. We learned so much that we didn't even realize ourselves, and we just learned so much that we can't wait to actually let you guys see what we learned and give you guys that knowledge that we were more than lucky to get today.
If you guys are liking these videos, hit the like button below. Definitely hit that subscribe button, because you guys know once we hit 200 subscribers, we're going to do another giveaway. So help us get there.
Thank you so much for supporting us constantly.
Exactly.
And like he said, comment, like, let us know what you want to hear, and subscribe.
Yeah. Oh, actually, before we go, I also just wanted to congratulate Rose on becoming an official New York State Real Estate Agent. If you guys are interested in her journey, and let's make a video on that. If you guys are interested, you want to know how it took her to study, we'll make a little bit of a vlog.
But I hope you guys know what that means, right? Now we'll start to have more information to give you guys that entails investing and growing wealth.
I also want to apologize if this video is a little bit longer. I like to keep my videos short for you guys, but there was just a lot of important information in this video. I think that we should all be appreciative of it and look at it. So hope you guys enjoy. Hey YouTube, I'm Andrew.
And I'm Rose.
And welcome to another episode of Growing Wealth with A&R featuring Nora Gay.
Okay guys, so good afternoon. We have a really very special video for you guys this week. We have the pleasure of having Nora Gay, who is an author and who has written Get Minted. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but it's such a great book. And it pretty much gives us the tools and tips on how to build massive wealth in the midst of uncertainties.
Definitely. And I just want to thank Nora for being here, communicating with us, and so that we can make this video and achieve both of our goals, which is to help others gain wealth.
Absolutely.
And just knowledge. So I definitely want to get into the book, but first, I wanted to ask you if you can give a little, just a little intro about yourself, so that the viewers know, whose book are we reading? Who is Nora Gay?
Right.
Well, thank you for having me first and foremost. I really appreciate the invitation. I think the mission that you guys are on is an absolutely wonderful one. Nora Gay. Well, so in less than 1 minute, just in the essence of time, I could speak for a long time. So I'm talkative first and foremost, but I'm also a financial planner, right? But I call myself a financial strategist because I do more than your typical investment or protection planning. I look at the person's complete financial picture before I determine what course of action to recommend and implement. So not only do I give you the blueprint to getting to where you want to be, I also help you implement it. I also began this career as, let me see, well, I don't want to give you a morbid story, nor do I want to scare anybody off, right off the bat. But this is a career that I took on because of a tragedy that happened to a friend of mine.
Mhm.
People don't realize how inadequate planning can affect them, and until something really terrible happens,
Yeah.
and then they're hit with the hard core, like the hard truth, and they're seeking remedies. And obviously, you can't provide it when things are already on a downhill spiral.
Right.
So that's in a nutshell, who I am and what I do. I guess the moral of the story, or my story, is doesn't matter how and where you get started. It's a matter of, how flexible you are in the journey to take life's unexpected curveballs.
Absolutely.
Right.
That's a great introduction. I'm would like to say that I'm happy to have you here because Rose and I are not financial investors at all. I'm sorry, financial advisors, and we'd like to relay reputable sources to people so that they're able to use those sources. So I like to use Forbes and
Right.
CNBC, and now we have Nora Gay as a reputable source that we can relay to our viewers. I just want to start off by saying the book was written very well. I think the diction was very diverse. It was exciting. It was fun, and one of the things about the book that I liked a lot is that in a lot of economic books or finance books, there's not a lot of pictures, um,
Mhm.
and you put like tweets of your. I think they were your own tweets, correct? Like they have your
Absolutely.
own tweets, and you put some graphs, and you have some blank pages. And for me, that's what I think makes Get Minted different from a lot of other financial books.
Absolutely.
And I wanted to ask, what do you think makes your book different from other books?
I wanted to give something that was a little different, because in this millennium, we have a group of people who look like you, who look like me, who don't necessarily know how to get started in wealth building. They are now touching money. They are now, well, COVID-19 aside, right?
Yeah.
They are now realizing some of the unexpected issues that can rise up in the midst of, taking a travel
Yeah.
or going on a trip. There are so many things that can hinder what you want to do and how well you want to live. And I wanted to give some of our group members, right, a book that they could relate to, because a lot of people come to me and ask me, how do I balance what I want to do, right? I want to live well, I want to spend as much as possible, but I also want to build. I want to build a business. I want to build generational wealth. How do I do it? What are the steps? What do I need to think about? What are some of the things that I need to keep in the forefront of my mind? And I wanted to remove the fluff. I
Yeah.
wanted to
Yeah.
remove the additional, the padding, the graphs that tell you basically these are your possible impediments to reaching your goal. I wanted to go straight to the point and give people this millennium's blueprint, essentially, because there are some tried and true methods of building wealth in this millennium that I think weren't available, say, in the 1990s. For instance, you couldn't possibly think about being the type of influencer that you two are trying to be in the 1990s.
Yeah.
Why? Because then the internet wasn't readily available.
Yeah.
You did have influencers in the form of actors and stars and things like that, but it wasn't available to regular folks like us.
Yeah.
And there is a way of doing it. There is a blueprint, but nobody's talking about it. You just see the overnight quote unquote success.
Absolutely. That's great. And that actually takes me to my next topic, which is generational wealth. how do you feel about the beliefs of needing a specific degree to help you have or gain the highest income you can possibly gain? How do you feel about those beliefs of that generational curse of needing to go to school for 4 years plus to receive your degree, and having you think, okay, you know what, now I will be making the most money I can generate because I went to school or finished school?
Mhm. Well, there are a couple of things. The very first stipulation, and I know people are going to say, no, Nora, this is so wrong, but I'm a little controversial in that, in saying that not everyone is meant to be an entrepreneur.
Right.
Not everyone is meant to build a business, and generational wealth, it's the second thing, doesn't have to be built through a business. So in answering your question, here's what I'll say. There are specific skill set that um, one can only gain from going to school, right?
Absolutely.
So you want to be an engineer, you have to go through it. You
Right.
want to be an accountant, I highly recommend it. As a matter of fact, you can't even sit for the CPA exams without having completed a certain number of hours of study. You want to be a lawyer? Well, you've got to finish law school and sit for the bar exam. So in that sense, I would say yes, if you want to pursue a specific line of work,
Absolutely.
you absolutely have to finish your education. However, in my book, what you'll notice is none of the chapters actually require you to complete a course of study in order to build generational wealth. Moreover, it doesn't even require you to have a specific income or a specific number of dollars in order to start. A lot of these things are require you to harness what's already innate,
Right.
what's already in you, and basically sharing that value with other individuals who need it, because we each have something within that we can harness, that we can package, and that we can sell.
Right.
May it be a skill that you learn from school or something that is particular to you. For instance, I know a young lady, she's 18 years old. She's a force to reckon with. She's just a naturally great speaker.
Mm-hmm.
And she's going around speaking on topics that she knows well, and others she gives herself permission to learn very well. And thankfully, because of the internet, she's able to learn a ton and give it her own spin, her own logic, and deliver that in a way that is so beautiful that people can actually relate to it and implement. So that didn't take her. Yes, she's in school now, but it doesn't take you years and years of schooling to accomplish something like that.
That's amazing. And that's the misconception that we're actually trying to show our viewers as well too. Anybody can grow wealth as long as you have this specific skill that you have, you find, and you pretty much make that skill grow. Anyone can learn financial literacy. Anyone can self-educate. Anyone can learn about stocks, ETFs, so many different tools that are out there. Back in 2008, where there was a really bad time where people were losing their 401ks and things of that sort. And around that time, it was a little bit too late because not everyone knew how to plan for their future or plan for such a tragic time. And then here comes COVID-19, which you actually speak about that as well, which is pretty much almost similar to what happened back then. How can you, or how would you give advice to anyone that's starting up in this time right now to plan better or to do more research, because now would be the time? Or like you said before, there was a time where it was too late. Not everyone had the opportunity to jump and plan and look long term for generational wealth.
So the very first thing that I would say is, in the absence of a financial advisor, They're progressions to this. In the absence of an advisor, I would say set up your cash reserve. Prior to COVID-19, I was telling people, have a 3 to 6 month, cash reserve. Now I'm saying, let's push that to a year. Let's get that to a year worth, because if you're fortunate enough to still be receiving a paycheck because you're still working, we do not know how long this is going to last. And even if it were to end tomorrow, you want to position yourself in a place where anything like this happens again, you don't have to worry.
Right.
Moreover, anything that you don't need as far as excess in your cash reserve, guess what you can do with it? Invest it.
Right.
Yeah.
So either way, you win. But here's the second part of what I would say. A lot of people do not realize that in order to gain financial advice, in order to better position yourself to win financially, you don't have to pay an arm and a leg. There are financial advisors who are fee-based, who will take a fee if you have a portfolio, it's large enough, you have a complex financial life, and they will simplify it for you. But there are those who give you free consultations so that they can assess, one, can they help you? And two, do you need the help? I'm one of those financial advisors, because I realize that in talking to an advisor, you need to interview them, but they too have a responsibility to interview you. Mm-hmm. When I stay with an individual, I make sure that I'm not going to waste my time, my breath, and my energy. Mm-hmm. Yes, I'm on a mission to educate, but I'm not on a mission to babysit.
Absolutely.
So when somebody comes to me, I tell them, yes, I give you a 30-minute free consult, but that's also my way of determining whether or not I can or will work with you, because I see long term. There's nothing more beautiful than when I'm sitting with my clients and I'm looking at their 3-year report card and they're like, oh my God, I've seen so much growth. My cash reserves have grown. Oh my goodness, now I can really focus on investments. Or they'll tell me, I didn't know this was available as a product. I would love to get started. I would love to do this. So there's nothing that makes me happier than that. So I would say, yes, you can go online, Google all this stuff, do your research, but a surgeon doesn't operate on himself for specific reasons.
That's true.
Similarly, while you can find the information, but you may not be able to apply it for your own purposes. Absolutely. Because there's so much out there. Suitability should be something that you should be able to weigh, but not everyone's able to do that. Yeah. So talk to a financial advisor, grow your cash reserves. These are the two main things that I would say.
And that was definitely one of the reasons Rose and I decided to create Growing Wealth with A&R, because no offense to any YouTubers or advisors out there, but I just feel like for me to get information, somebody was always trying to sell me something. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, hey, buy my watch list, my stock list, buy this, buy that. When I just simply just want to learn about the economy. Right. Simply, I just want to learn. I don't want anybody skewing me in a certain direction. And I'm kind of rambling at this point. And that's pretty much it, honestly. I mean, we want to know if you had any questions for us.
Right.
Well, I mean, the biggest question I have for you guys is, how far do you want to take this? I mean, what is the ultimate goal that you want to accomplish with and for your viewers? Mm-hmm. Because I imagine that, you have your own ideas of what those should be, but the community, I'm sure, would love to know. And I, for one, would like to know.
Yeah. So it's funny. I think Rose and I have the same goals ultimately, but I think we kind of have two different, I don't know, like, I don't know if you want to go first and.
Well, I do definitely see this going as far as it possibly can, because we are just planning to be involved in so much different endeavors that has to do with long-term growing and wealth. I actually can speak about something that just happened to me, which is going to help us long term. I just recently actually got my real estate license. So I plan to,
Congratulations.
so much. So I plan to learn that industry, but I don't plan to become a real estate agent or be a real estate agent for the rest of my life. I want to own my own property. I want to flip my own properties. I want to do wholesaling, but I actually want to come back to my YouTube channel and let our viewers go through this journey with us as well too, and know what we did wrong or what to do better. So I see this going long term, but in just so many different categories, talking about so many different things that entails planning for your future, planning for getting a new house, or just learning to save well. And I just see it just going together, coming together.
Yeah.
Good.
So I guess for
Yeah.
myself, I don't really. So you know Elon Musk, correct? The CEO of Tesla,
Right.
and I just read a biography on this guy, and he doesn't see any limit to anything. So I can't really answer how far I see this going because I want it to go as far as possible.
Right.
Um, and for me, I think that my goal is really just to provide very clear, um, pleasing videos to the eye, videos edited very well, video, very good sound, video with very experienced people like yourself.
Right.
To make it, when somebody goes on YouTube and clicks on our video, Growing Wealth with A&R, it's just the information just flows to them. There's no
Right.
fluff, there's no this and that.
Mhm.
And really what happened is, so my dad is he's a doctor, and I went to school and I graduated at 23 years old, whatever. And my dad is invested in mutual funds. And he's been profitable. And I'm sitting here, wait a second. So I've been in school for 4 or 5 years, and I could have been accumulating all this money while I was in school. Even if I wasn't in school, if I had this knowledge, I could have made a lot of money. And I'm like, if I just learned this with somebody who's living in my house, people don't know this at all, who don't have that environment around them.
Right.
So I'm like, wait, like I can't live this life for me. I have to live this life for the people who aren't able to access what I and Rose have.
Right.
Awesome. So obviously, I'm gonna ask this because of my line of work. What is the best financial advice that you've received?
Wow. Okay. The best financial advice I received. You want to go first or try this?
I think the best financial advice that I have received has been investing your money into things that will help you long term. So I've learned about taking risk with investing your money, but I also learned that sometimes risks are a very good thing, and you become very complacent by not wanting to take risks.
Speaking of risks, she actually just invested in a couple of shares of Tesla, and within a week, she's pretty profitable. I'm a little jealous. I'll be honest. I'm a little bit jealous.
So that's the thing about me. I love to take risks because it's different when you have a lot of money just sitting there. Do something with it. Make it grow in some way, shape, or form. And ever since I've heard that, I've just been getting the ball rolling as much as I can because it just helps so much.
I would say my best advice I've received is live below your means, because it's not about how much money that you make; it's about how much money you keep.
Right.
So let's say if I were lucky enough to make, let's say, I don't know, $70,000. If my expenses add up to what, $65,000, not even more than that. I'm not really, even though I make it way more than the average American income, I'm not really building anything.
All right. What is the worst? I'm
worst,
sure you guys knew this was coming.
the worst advice. Wow. You need to live and invest for yourself and not follow what other people are doing. Because one, they will make moves without telling you. Like I remember when I first started getting in the stock market, I say, "Hey, Dad, just tell me what you're doing. I'm just going to follow you." And the way he's trading stocks weekly or daily, I would never have been able to keep up, and I would have probably been in the red. So you need to assess your situation in your life and make sure don't follow everybody else is doing. If your friend gets that Porsche, that's fine. Let him get the Porsche.
Let him get the Porsche.
Maybe he has the money for a Porsche.
Right.
Maybe that Porsche is below his means. Maybe he's making so much money.
Right.
But if you get that Porsche, man, I can't get a Porsche. So
Right.
yeah, I would say.
I would say the worst financial advice that I have received was find a great full-time job, 9-to-5 job with great benefits, and you will live well long term. And I hear it so many times. I still hear it till this day. And the advice that I would give is learn what you're good at and learn to work for yourself, become your own boss, become the CEO of your own name, and just become the best that you can be on your own.
Yeah, you can tell.
And use that 9-to-5 job to save as much as you can, but don't become complacent where you're working that 9-to-5 job. You're working for somebody else for the rest of your life.
Yeah, you can tell that's why like Rose and I kind of complement each other, because I'm more of the kind of play safe guy, but she takes very calculated risks, I would say.
Yeah.
That's good.
Because
That's
calculated
good.
risks are different than like, let me buy this stock, see what happens.
Yeah.
Like she's like, okay, if I do this, okay, this will happen. If I do this, this will happen. I still have the money for this. And she's really teaching me that, hey, don't be afraid to bet on yourself.
Right.
And I mean, yeah, man, that's, so thanks for all that.
Yeah,
Not to make you all hype or whatever.
In your group, or what you're trying to do, the pitfall that I see, a lot of people who are in that space, even if they are extremely profitable, they're doing really well, they have a lot of followers.
Yeah.
So these gurus, I see that they tend, I'm sorry, I'm going to say this on your channel. It's going to be controversial, okay?
Yeah, look, you gotta do what you gotta do,
What I realize that they do is that they speak on things that, one, they have not tested, two, they're not licensed to do.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. Oh.
Yeah.
And three, experiences that they have not necessarily had.
Exactly.
So my question to you is, one, have you ever sat down with a financial advisor?
We have
and
not. No.
Okay.
Never have, yeah.
And then two, couple financing, and I say this because I see that you're a beautiful couple, right? I dare comment on that. And the route that you're taking and the mission that you guys are embarking on together is such a wonderful one. How are you, I guess my question is, how are you setting yourselves up to be successful, to be different in your success, and to provide authentic and nothing but real advice?
Absolutely, yeah.
Right.
So I was a psychology major at City College of New York, and I focused especially on writing research papers. So in research papers, you have to find different sources, and you have to cite all of those sources. You can't just come up with whatever you think sounds cool.
Right.
And when you take a class called experimental psychology, you have to write a thesis paper, which is ends up being 40 pages long. So you're researching, looking for all these different articles. So that was one of the things about school that I think I really benefited from, because this whole money or economic thing, you can't just do whatever you want and then go tell somebody.
No.
So every single video that Rose and I have, we constantly mention we're not financial advisors, but CNBC says this, Forbes says this. And for a little sneak peek for my next video, we're going to show my exchange trade fund and how I've been very profitable by what I've been doing because of the research that I've used from reputable sources. This isn't like getrich.com fast, quick, you know, because that really bothers me.
Right, absolutely.
I'm not a financial advisor, and I don't like to tell people what to do. I can't. I Rose and I are just, to the average person right now, just YouTubers.
Right. I definitely agree with that as well too. Every time we do a new YouTube channel, one thing that I do like and I love to speak on things that I can relate to, that I can show you that I'm doing as well. So every single channel or episode we've had so far talked about savings, ETFs, 401ks, things of that sort, and we can relate because we have all of these things. We're invested in all of these things, and we are growing in all of these areas that we can actually show our viewers rather than just saying it and not even, like, you know.
And you work at a bank too.
Yeah, and I also work at the bank, so I'm very knowledgeable of all these things as well too. So what makes us grow well as a couple with our finances is that we kind of help each other grow as well. Like certain things that Andrew actually got me into creating my own stock portfolio, and I love it now. So there's so many things that I learned at work about 401k contributions, IRAs, Roth IRAs, and we talk about it, and we make sure we're growing this and we're trying it together and making sure that we're actually gaining some sort of a profit off of it before we just present it to our viewers, because we don't want anyone to say, how do we know that you know what you're talking about? You know, we want to make sure we have the facts, and then we cite it as well too from outside resources.
Got it. Wonderful.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great.
I definitely, now that you mentioned it, I mean, we never thought about seeing a financial advisor.
Yeah.
I wondered, like, how that would go. I guess, yeah, like, I mean, I guess you would know. Like, how do you think that would go for us, I guess, you know, how, like, that initial meeting, like, you know?
Well, the initial meeting, like I said, it's fact finding.
Yes.
It's determining what your objectives are, what your time horizon is to accomplish your short-term, long-term, or mid-term goals. And then if you're talking to somebody like me, I'm really trying to gauge whether or not I can help you accomplish these goals. Because it could be that where you are in your life and what it is that you want to accomplish, I can't necessarily help you. If you've got a mountain of debt, for instance, and your income is barely covering your minimum monthly payments, I can't help you.
No.
What I can do, however, is put you in touch with a debt eliminator. And these people do exist. So there are people who strategize just around debt, how to get rid of it, at what rate, how to lower the balance or the principal on a debt. So there are people who strategize around how to do that. I'm not one of those people. What I strategize around are your protection planning, your investment planning, your retirement planning, even your estate planning. You might think that, oh, we're young, we don't need an estate plan. You may not need a full-on registered estate plan, but if you are growing wealth, you need a place where you stipulate who should receive your funds in the event something were to happen to you. I review your entire financial picture. And I say that there are 3 people you do not lie to, nor do you brush things off for. It's your doctor, your accountant, and your financial advisor. Let's say accountant/lawyer, right?
Okay.
Because you want to be truthful if in case you're in a pickle. But these are the 3 people I think you must be absolutely honest with. And when I sit with somebody, the first 30 minutes, it's similar to this conversation. I'm trying to figure out whether or not there is a way for me to help you in what you want to achieve. And if there is a way, I say, great, let's start working with set expectations. qualifications. And then I provide you with your net worth, your report card. And then I do a projection for 3 years and another projection for until age 65. So at that time, you're looking at your report card, you're like, okay, this is where I want to be. Or if you want to make some changes in a year or two, we come back to the drawing board and we say, this is where we expect it to be. Where are we in relation to that? With a woman, we know things are going to happen, such as engagement, babies. So many life changes that will impact the projection. And when I make a projection, you'll see assumptions similar to a business. You will see the assumptions that I made in order to come up with a projection.
All right. Wow. I mean, I think that's pretty much it. This could not have gone any more perfect.
Amazing.
I guess to our viewers, I would like to say thank you for watching.
Absolutely.
Once again, I want to thank Nora for being here. And if you guys are interested, you definitely should get minted. I bought it. I bought it on Amazon immediately as soon as me and her started talking. And then we're definitely sure you will enjoy it.
Absolutely.
If you guys like this video, thumbs up, subscribe down below, and do some more information and research on Nora Gay.
Absolutely.
And you guys won't be disappointed.
Yep.
Awesome. Thank you guys for having me.
No problem.
Have a great
Thank you.
one.
Thank you so much.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.